I'm ready.
Jennifer's late on that one.
I'm ready. I was here. Go ahead.
I want to welcome everyone to the Centerville City Council meeting being held here on September 2nd, 2025. We thank those that have joined in person and thank those that might be online as well too. Council members that are here, staff that are here. Looking forward to a couple of presentations this evening. Let's make sure we can do business by doing a roll call. Starting with Councilman Meekum.
Meekum present?
Summer Hughes present?
Heyman present.
Hurst present?
I think Councilman Plummer doesn't have a mic right now, but he.
Okay, so Councilman Plummer is joining, but couldn't chime in. So thank you, members of council, for being here. Let's proceed since we can do business. Legislative prayer or thought by Council Member Shaylin Heyman.
Okay, it's the day after Labor Day. And I know the question that everyone is asking themselves is it okay to still wear white after Labor Day? Very important question. Actually, I wondered about this, right? I mean, have we all heard this, you can't wear white after Labor Day? It's a fashion faux pas. Where did this come from?
Anna Winter.
It actually dates back to the Gilded Age. So in the late 1800s, the people, the wealthy folks who were in the New York City areas, right, they would move during the summer out to the Southamptons to recreate, and they would get out of the city. When they went to the beach, they would wear white because, of course, that helped keep them cooler. White, when you sweat, doesn't show the sweat stains as much. It was certainly a sign of your wealth if you could wear white, because white is hard to keep clean. So if you were wearing white, it was a lovely sign that you were of wealth, because you could stay, you could keep your clothing clean. And towards the latter part of the 1800s, also tennis became a co-ed sport. And tennis also was a fairly, back then, well-to-do sport that they would wear white. So this was very much a status symbol. But after Labor Day, all of the folks would move back from the Northamptons into the city. The city was very dirty. It was very challenging to keep one's clothing white while we were in the city. So that was how it became about that you did not wear white after Labor Day. Now, actually, in the early 1920s, New York City underwent a very big renovation. They cleaned up streets. We had cars. The city became a lot less dirty at that point, but grandmas passed down to their children, who passed down to their children, who passed down to those children, this old wives' tale that you cannot wear white after Labor Day. So, according to Vogue, can we now currently wear white after Labor Day? I am pleased to report the answer is yes. It is no longer a faux pas. You get to wear whatever color you want after Labor Day, including white or any other color. So I am giving you permission. Go forth and wear whatever color floats your boat, even though it's the day after Labor Day. That's my thought.
So what you're saying is, as I was looking in my closet today, immediately I thought, oh shoot, I didn't
See?
wear my white pants
See?
one more time
It
before
has
Labor Day.
It has been passed. It's like, it's this old wives' tale, but really it's dumb. We should be able to, now there's like winter white and whatever, but people actually wear a lot of white now. So just, you ignore that old wives' tale, we get to wear it.
White with florals, okay too?
White with
This is quaint.
And since you bring up tennis, and that was a thing with tennis, there's the U.S. Open's going on presently. You'll see them wearing all sorts of colors, but there's one tennis tournament left that requires white only, and that's Wimbledon. And so
That's the apparel.
that's all you can wear is white when you play in Wimbledon. So
White.
yeah.
There you go. White after Labor Day, folks.
Yep. All right, if you'd all rise and repeat with me the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, this is the open session time. This is a chance for any member of the community or anyone that may be attending online or in person, come to the microphone and say what might be on their mind. Trying to keep it to no more than 3 minutes. You just introduce yourself and where you're from. We do not have any we don't have any, it looks like, topics that we'll be discussing tonight. Public hearing topics, I should say, so anything's fair game. So that's now open and available. Seeing no comments, we'll move to a presentation. As you know, we try to, it's like an annual basis, isn't it, Brant, that we try and get Utopia in here to talk to us?
Yes.
So we have representatives from Utopia here with us tonight. We have, of course, Brant and Councilwoman Meekum that sit on the Utopia and the UAA boards. So they fill us in with some stuff that's going on. But you'll just introduce yourself for the rest of the council, and that'd be great.
Okay. I'm Roger Timmerman, I'm the Executive Director at Utopia Fiber. And I brought with me Nicole Cottle. She's our Deputy Director. And you get the lesser version in the presentation, but if you ask me any tough questions, I might have her chime in, but having her, and I love having her on the team at Utopia. She's awesome. We'd like to get out every year. You may think like, hey, it hasn't been that long. What are you doing here? But it's just kind of timing of what worked for schedules, and we're here a little shorter than a year, but it's actually been a little while. So we thought there was still enough to give you an update on that would be of interest, but we'll move pretty quickly through it. Historically, we had the original cities and a lot of partnerships that have been coming on. You have one of particular interest that's your next door neighbor in Bountiful, and we have completed that project, and so they're built out and signing up at a very rapid pace right now. Called. Next slide. That's good. Who's navigating? Over here. Okay. Thank you. Timeline-wise, you may remember we had a number of difficult years, but they were important years of building the infrastructure, getting the system in place. There was a restructuring back in 2009 and a refinancing of debt. We were able to finance and build projects from there, and those ones have all been successful. And Centerville was one of the first done under that restructuring, and that restructuring was largely through an entity called UIA. Which is the Utah Infrastructure Agency, and that's why we have two boards and two board representatives, because we have one on Utopia and one on UIA. And UIA acts as kind of the financing arm for financing projects, but Utopia is where all the staff and operations exist. And we have all the fun financials and agreements between the two organizations so that we kind of operate collectively as Utopia Fiber. But they all work in the mutual best interest of each other and our owners and partners of which are the cities. Next slide.
Stop for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Can we go back? Okay.
That way. I noticed that you've had some other Davis County cities come on here in the last few years.
We've done very well in Davis County.
Not only just Bountiful, but so how many Davis County cities are using systems now? Do you know?
Well, it's
over 15?
So you and Layton are the originals, and then Clearfield, Syracuse, West Point, West Haven is Weber, isn't it?
Yeah, West Haven's Weber. So
Bountiful.
there you go.
Almost everything but Kaysville, Fruit Heights.
Now they're not some Layton. Those have all been since about 2020. It looks like. Is that right?
Yeah, they're all very, very new.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
We do very well in this county.
Just wanted to point out Davis County.
And the county itself and the school district use us for their connectivity, so we love their partnership. Few accomplishments. We're the largest open access network in the country, over 250,000 locations. That number's gone up since we were here last with 23 completed citywide projects. So those are keep growing every time we talk to you. Fastest speeds in the country with 10 gig residential and 100 for businesses if they want it. And we actually added 400 there because we do have some businesses on 400 gig, and that's mostly the University of Utah and the Utah Education Network that uses us at 400 gig, which is enormous. But if they want a couple of those or more, we could actually do more than that. The network is capable of actually about 10 times that right now. But that's kind of our backbone, and then individual customers or connections get, slices of that, I guess is the way to describe it. We're the most competitive open access network in the country, and what we mean by that is you have more options when Utopia comes in. That number's gone up, and that's gone up with some local companies. Wi-Fi Pros is an example of one that's just located in Bountiful. Sumo Fiber's been on there a while, but they're also in Bountiful. But it's nice, we're actually promoting and enabling local companies here in Utah to compete with the big guys, the incumbent cable company or telephone companies. In fact, not only compete, but beat them and offer the very best service. But that's going to local companies here in Utah, local employees, local owners, which is great. It's one of the reasons we do open access is we build this public infrastructure to enable private sector competition in local companies. We were #1 in awards for over a period of years from the Utah Education Network. We don't give them free service or do it on a charitable basis. We have to compete and bid on those, and we win them when we're the best option for them. And so we love it because we like the revenue and we like the partnership, but we are also saving our schools a lot of money because we are giving them a service at a better price than they would have otherwise. Like, they're not picking us because of charity or anything either. It's we're at the best price. We're #1 in providing air quality sensors in Utah. We keep adding those every time we install a facility, one of our huts or cabinets. We put in an air quality sensor, so you can almost see where Utopia is based on where the sensors are. And that's not like on our website. That's like you go to KSL Weather or any of these other kind of places that provide mapping for air quality data and show you where the sensors are. And you'll kind of see that you can almost pick out Utopia cities because we have all these sensors there. And it turns out we end up providing more of those than anyone else in the state. We do other cool smart city stuff. We've worked with the city to kind of upgrade connectivity and some of the services the city does. I want to make a mention of wildfire detection. I'm going to show you an example of that in a little bit. But we would like to get a camera in Centerville for that to monitor high-risk bench areas. It's not of interest to some cities, but you guys, I think, would be interested in it because you do have, call that the urban interface or whatever with the wildfire risk areas.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Wildland urban interface?
Yes. So I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. And we have a good Net Promoter Score, which is kind of a customer service feedback score. And when you get asked the question if you'd recommend a service to a friend or colleague, that's actually the question you have to use to get a score that is used to kind of compare yourself with other companies. And compared to the other non-Utopia options, which were in the 0 and negatives, when you have Utopia, people like it, they recommend it, and we see it too on places like Facebook. Somebody's like, hey, I just moved in, you guys have broadband here? What are the options? And they almost get bombarded with people just, Utopia, 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 and we're like, oh, cool. Like, we love our marketing and we do that, but there's nothing better than a recommendation from a neighbor, and we really appreciate the support that people here have for the system. We do really well with Google ratings too, something we track and respond to, try to make sure everybody's happy. Next slide. These are options that are on the fiber network. So again, we just build one fiber network, and all of these companies get to use that fiber network as if it's their own. And so it creates a very competitive environment. If they're not a good company, they don't answer the phone, they're charging too much money, they just simply go out of business or don't get customers. But those companies that are good and competitive and innovative and have good reputation, they do well. And we've been able to grow their businesses with them by building this infrastructure. Next slide. One thing I want to make note is that we have a better, I say we, so this is, we see this as your network, but we, operate it and run it in partnership with you. But you should know that you have the very best fiber network in the state. It is a dedicated system. Everybody gets their own connection. And even when you have other options in the city, which recently we have seen more of that with Quantum Fiber, and then them being in the process of being acquired by AT&T, we don't know if that's going to represent a big expansion or anything there, but the fiber network itself that's in place and that they have built is not as good as this network. And it's simply technically not as good. It's a shared system. The whole neighborhood shares a single fiber connection. And if some user is using lots, it slows down other people's connections. You'll see that they don't offer 10 gig because they can't, because they really have 10 gig that the whole neighborhood shares. We have 10 gig for every single home. And if you use your whole 10 gig, it doesn't affect the 10 gig that the neighbor has. Like they're all dedicated connections. Now, most people are picking gig and 2.5 gig, but even those connections will slow down on other networks. And we do that because we have these providers who are like, we are buying a connection on UTOPIA, and we can't have them interfering with their competitors and their competitors' customers, right? So it's all kind of isolated and dedicated for them. But the result is everybody gets a much more reliable and faster connection than even another fiber network. Now compare to that, the cable and wireless, it's dramatically better, but just want to make the point that you have the very best even among fiber networks. Next slide. Okay, this is a new way to look at things. We have looked kind of a way for the city to see the benefit. Especially in today's economy, I think everybody sees their bills going up, you know, from power to water and whatever. And it's a pressure that's it's been kind of necessary in many ways, but the public is often, we see has been critical or frustrated. You know, I think we all are. Things just seem to be getting more and more expensive across the board. We love this as an example of a way that cities are saving their residents money. And what I mean by that is the most common option, if UTOPIA weren't in place, that we see in other cities nearby, is that people are using Xfinity. They're their most dominant non-UTOPIA option. And the most common option from them is their 1.1 gigabit option, download, and 50 meg up. And that's $109 a month. So ours is faster than that. It's a gigabit down and a gigabit up, and it actually works that way, and it's reliable, and it's not shared, and all the benefits. But let's just say those were equivalent. We're saving people on average $29 a month by having a UTOPIA option. And we have different tiers. We have a higher price and a lower price and all that, but our most popular compared to their most popular, we're saving people $29 a month. Right now we have 2,501 residential subscribers in Centerville and 177 business subscribers. If you apply that $29 a month across a year, it's $348. So we're saving the residents of the city $870,000 a year because of this service. You're saving the businesses, and this is a very conservative assumption that we average about $50 a month in savings. It's probably closer to 100, but conservatively, let's say $50, that amounts to $106,000 a month in savings. And we keep adding customers. I mean, that number keeps going up, and the options from other providers is getting more and more expensive. So that continues to trend upward, that this is benefiting the community. And that money is just right there back into the pockets of those homes and businesses. I mean, it's an enormous economic benefit to the city having this in place. That's not to say that it didn't come at no cost. The cost is much less than that. Now, another way to look at it, this fourth bullet point was a study that was done by, on a different fiber network. This was a bigger city. It's Chattanooga, and they had at the university do a big study, and there's a link to it in the presentation if you wanted to look into details. But they identify these different categories of economic development, business benefits, households, community benefits, kind of layer all these things together, and calculated that over a period of 10 years, there was like a $2.6 billion economic benefit to Chattanooga. Now, we pulled some of those categories out because we don't have a electrical utility, and there's some other things. But after pulling out all of the non-applicable categories and sizing it to the size of Centerville, that same equivalent benefit would be $139 million over a 10-year period with all of those things. And so that may be a bigger number than, you say, well, maybe I'm not going to count all of that. But a lot of that is completely valid. And so, again, this is not just about saving people money on the internet, although that is a nice benefit, but it brings lots and lots of different aspects of benefit to the community, including efficient government operations and I don't know, just all the things, schools and remote telemedicine, things like that, have better health, less, telecommuting, all the great things. So anyways, we just wanted to point that out. It's pretty useful information. Next slide. Just a quick update on subscribers. So we're up over 77,000 subscribers across all of our partnerships. It just keeps growing. We just had the best 4 months in a row that we've ever had in our history, adding over net growth of over 1,000 subscribers a month. It's pretty awesome. We are kind of celebrating 75,000, and we're going to be celebrating 100,000 here probably in the next couple of years. So it's nice to see the demand continuing to grow. That does put us all in a good position for taking on additional amount of the debt payments, as well as kind of spreading costs out and not raising rates and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of benefit in UTOPIA's success outside of the city as well. Next slide. This is just kind of on a per city basis. You're kind of low on the chart only because you're smaller. But you're doing really well. So that's the next slide. Let's do the next two slides. You want to do the next one? So this is just kind of the availability. So even though we built the system out about actually a little more than 10 years ago, you can see it's continued to grow. You've had some development on the west. This is all addresses. You've had some, I don't know, one reason or other, it seems like there's not a lot of room for development, but there's been some. So obviously we have to continue expanding the network as that happens. Next slide. This is your subscriber growth. I wanted to talk to what the trend at the end. It doesn't look normal. That is when Quantum Fiber built fiber throughout the city and then sent door-to-door marketing. And we just heard before the meeting, there's been a little bit of complaint about that. They were very pushy. And despite that, it's actually impressive that another option could come into the city and cover the city and offer service and even use high-pressure sales effort and to not dramatically impact our subscriber base. Actually, although we would love to see that continue to be going up aggressively, that was a really big competitive threat that came in, and I think we actually weathered it really well, that people like the service, and we see a lot of those customers actually coming back. But to only lose, I think the worst we were down was about 200 customers, and then over some time we've seen a lot of them come back. And a lot of that's like they give you some sort of promotional rate, and then you're like, okay, well, the service isn't as good, and I'm not saving any money anymore because my promotional rate ran out. Let me switch back to UTOPIA. So from a long-term perspective, we're still really good. We've seen the same thing happen in several other cities. And most of the others, like Brigham City, we took a little bit bigger of a hit, but they're actually back to growing pretty aggressively again. We're not growing aggressively again yet in Centerville, but yours was a little later, so I think we're still in the promotional periods.
Track a metric where you take the total number of households and businesses. It gets a little tricky, I assume, because accounts don't necessarily tie to a number of residences. You may have somebody work from home, though they may still have one account, but I'm just trying to get a feel for the percentage remaining addressable market, let's just call it, right? Does that make sense? So you could track subscribers, and then if we see it plateau, we may say, oh, nobody really wants this anymore, but maybe we're 90% subscribed, or maybe we're only 60% subscribed, and why are we plateauing? Does that make sense? That metric of the percentage of potential users or subscribers in a municipality versus actual subscribers.
So it's not in these charts, but we do have that, and we give it to our board members where it shows the actual take rate in the city. And so I think we were right. Let's see, let me go back.
And I guess, and how often
Centerville?
do you update those, I guess, the denominator of that
We update the
calculation?
denominator every month. So
Every
we're
month.
constantly
Okay.
updating records from the county.
Good.
And the reality of it is it actually lags that because they create parcels, residential, and they're like, yeah, this is approved plat, whatever, and then there's a home there for a while. And
Right.
so it's a pretty good way to update it, but it's actually counts against us a little bit more.
Yeah, because you may have months before they have somebody, home built and a move-in.
Yeah, so generally we underreport our take rate, but we maxed out at 49.07% take rate on residential addresses. And then we're now at, let's see, we got to a low of 48.1, and now we're back up to 48.15. So this has come up a little bit.
I just sent you the email, so you have the subscriber report
Thank you.
for
So
August.
you can dig into more details there. And
It's pretty fun.
And does Utopia have like a target that they'd like to meet in each of their municipalities of that take rate?
you know, it kind of varies. There's kind of a financial target of just if we bond for a project and build it, we want to get a break even on that project and then
Yeah.
some.
Right.
And with our new partnerships, it matters a lot because the city is backing an individual bond. Centerville's backing are collective. So yours, it doesn't matter so much what happens exactly in your city. It matters a lot what happens across all of the UIA cities. And the target there, it's just, we just need more revenue. Now, all the UIA projects have actually exceeded their targets and are making money, but not enough money to cover all the shortfalls from that
Yeah,
early
from the
Utopia.
time value of money. Yeah.
And as UIA continues to do better and better, we're able to make more and more payment towards those old ones. So we're past our targets, but we need more, like, if that makes sense, right? We're always wanting more. And really, from every potential customer, you know, it's a little bit like, why are we not the best service? You know, why are we not 100%? Like, is there some reason that what we offer isn't the very, very best option for that? We, you know, feel like we have a good lower cost option. We have great premium options. We have great bundles. We have great, you know, technology solutions from different service providers. And so we do a lot of surveying and asking, you know, like, well, why don't you sign up? And usually it's, the number one reason is inertia. And what I mean by that is just getting someone to switch.
Yeah.
People don't like to switch. And it's the biggest reason people don't. They just don't want to have to deal with an installation and getting a router and getting a new bill and, you know, we're like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And people say that on Facebook all the time, but we get it. It's still just, it's a thing that has to be done and we can't force it on people. And that's our number one reason that we don't have more customers.
Perfect. That answers my question.
And
Thank you.
Spencer, years ago, when Bill was on the council, they came and he said, if we get this many more, will we get this much more money back or this or that? And they more or less said to us, it's other places that are affecting us now. If we could get everybody in Centerville to sign up, it wouldn't really affect our payment to them. So, I mean, that Bill was wanting the city to put money in to try and get, you know, everybody signed up so that we weren't having to pay such a big amount, but.
With
at
that, I
point-
mean, there's still opportunity. I do want to share, you know, in Layton City, they run ads on YouTube and streaming, so they do a
Right.
really good job trying to promote Utopia. And I think at Centerville, this is our service and we're invested in it. I think there's an opportunity for us to
But
market
it's
just a
not
little
going to
bit more.
change the amount of money. I mean, Bill thought it
No.
was going to save us all of these thousands of dollars. I just wanted the other council
Yeah,
members to
absolutely.
realize that it doesn't.
Like if all cities did the exact same effort to promote it and get more customers on, then they would all benefit to the same level. But as far as like any individual effort mattering more than the others, no. But we would still encourage it and welcome it. And other
Right.
cities have. In fact, West Valley City has actually did a lot of additional marketing efforts for the network, and Layton does as well. I think those are the two biggest that have, you know, they would probably have that attitude of like, well, we're carrying more than our weight with this, and we wish other cities would promote it like we do.
But they do a lot of it because they believe in the system, right? And it's a lot about believing in the system and protecting them. So, anyway.
Yeah. So any opportunity you have, we want to do it. We try to show up, like when you have city events and stuff, like please, you know, let us know, but also people are keeping tabs on that. We'd like to have a booth or a setup, but anytime you have something that, hey, this is going out, sometimes we have city, like a mayor do a mayor's letter, just talking about the system and reminding people that this is a city system. And so that's very helpful to do that occasionally. Like those types of things don't really cost a lot of money, but the public support is very helpful. And we still see that in our surveys with residents, like, despite all the marketing that we do, how did you find out about this? And so many people are always, well, it's the city. The city told us. We moved in and they said they have this awesome fiber network. And we're like, thank you. Please keep doing that. But that doesn't mean we're ever going to lax on our efforts to market it and get a hold of people and promote it. So anyways, even though you can't see it in that chart, it's not obvious, that line is going back up at the end. So we're trying to get that to go up more. Next slide. This is the map of where all the customers are. And there's so many of them on there that it doesn't really matter, because some people are like, are you sharing too much information with us? I'm like, no, pretty much everybody, like every area of the city has subscribers, and a lot of them. And if you were to actually go count houses, you'd probably see that we're much higher than the 48% take rate, because there's just a lot of parcels and things in the denominator that shouldn't be there, but just the way we do our GIS coordination with county. I think if we actually eliminated that sort of error data, we'd probably be more like a 60% plus take rate in the city. It is very, very popular. When you actually look down at these maps and go down the streets and things, it's very popular.
I know we've talked about that, as well as apartment buildings, getting more accurate information on that. Mike, we need to work on that. Okay, good.
Well, it's my GIS people I'm always harassing about it. I'm like, come on, guys.
Well, it would be great if we had some updated information for you.
Yeah, maybe we change the denominator to like, meters for other utilities, and we thought that was a more accurate. I mean, we still want the address data for our systems, for our automating mailers and things like that, but, I guess the main thing is that we are underreporting, and it's very popular in the city. 48 is actually really good, but 60 is better. It doesn't change the revenue, but I think the message would be that it's in the popularity range of more like a 60 to 70% popularity in the city, that people choose it. Next slide. We keep updating the technology of the system, so we do have a new 2.5 gig tier that's gained a lot of traction, and we had lowered the 10 gig option, the price for that. So we're continuing to keep up with trends in the market. We also see the stuff that's coming out there with AI and VR and all these acronyms, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality, a lot of automation products and things like that. They not just require a lot of bandwidth, but they require reliability. When the things in your home work based on the internet connection, more and more it's cars controlling garage door openers and your security feeds being monitored if you have cameras, or your doors, and all that sort of stuff requires broadband. And so not only the capacity, but the latency, reliability, all the trends point towards more and more and more use and criticality of broadband. And that's good for us, and it's good that we're there ready for it. Next slide. In my PowerPoint version, this is actually a video. But I don't know how to share that because it's a huge email, so we don't have it there. But at this link, if you wanted to follow this link, this actually pull up the live video feeds that are available on these different cameras. And they're dual cameras, one with an optical camera and the other is a thermal camera. So it looks like a boring black and white image, but it's actually a thermal thing. And it's not all colorful because it's meant for computer analysis. So it has a somewhat experimental artificial intelligence analysis running on it all the time, and also a histogram analysis. And those are projects done by students from the University, not University of Utah, BYU. Somebody just shoot me if they get the wrong university on that. We love both those universities and all the others as well.
Careful what you say.
We love the student groups and develop, R&D from all universities. But this project specifically was a BYU project to do the analysis on the cameras. Now, the analysis part and the triggering isn't all that useful because it is highly experimental. But this was actually a video feed out of the Provo fire that just happened a couple weeks ago. And it's very useful. Like in the video version of this, the left side gets dark and you can't really see what's going on, but the thermal camera can see right through the smoke, and you can see where the hot spots are. And so it's a very different set of information. The side-by-side on this is at the same time, and you can definitely see, you know, that there's hot spots that you may not actually be able to see visually. And this is a really far away camera. Like, this is not designed to be looking at this area. It was designed to be looking at Timpanogos, and this was south of Provo. But we were able to steer these cameras and zoom them in. So anyways, the goal would be, a goal of this project was to basically cover the Wasatch Front, but priority with the Utopia cities, obviously. But we'd like to identify a location in the city. We need a tower somewhere away from the mountain that can see line of sight, where we also have fiber. So if there's something on like the west side of the freeway.
Public Works building, we've talked about
Have we
this.
talked about that?
Public Works building is a potential option because we have a tower, or have an
They already have a
antenna on
tower?
top of it. Our EOC.
Can you give us permission to put whatever we want on it?
Yeah, Mike will do it. Mike Carlson will give you permission. But we can talk about it, for sure.
Okay,
It'd be very valuable.
so I will light a fire under my team to follow up on that and get that in
Yeah,
there. We
'cause
have-
I think we'd love one. I mean, to me,
Yeah.
it's
Good
exciting. I've watched the videos of them. And, I mean, if that's going all the time, you know, a small fire can be caught so fast.
Yeah, I don't want to set a false expectation that it's going to be perfect, because I'm on the like experimental feeds and I get alerts all the time like, hey, there's a fire, and I'm like, it's not a fire, it's just a reflection of the sun off a window or something like that. But so it's not very good at that. But when we know there's a fire or there's a suspected fire, the ability to focus in on that and then give that feed to our first responders and anybody working the fire is very helpful, and they can continually monitor it from that point on, even zoom in to other areas. Like the technology that are behind zooming on a thermal camera is actually really amazing, because it's not the same as like glass lenses. It's actually, they're really expensive, whatever they do, but it's kind of magical almost. But to zoom in with a thermal image is pretty amazing, and a very useful tool to keep things from getting out of hand. And when it is being monitored, it can be very helpful, like during an event of a fire. And after the fact, right? You can go in there and say, hey, it looks like it's all out, and then keep the camera on there watching it. And so if anything flames up, I mean, because you can have, you know, I've heard stories of like a lightning strike will be burning inside of a tree for weeks before it actually bursts out and causes a fire. But things like that you can actually see potentially that you wouldn't see with a normal camera. So it's a pretty cool public safety application. Usually the biggest obstacle is connectivity for that, and we're like, yeah, it's there, it's sitting there at the Public Works, let's get this camera put in and we'll have that available to the city. And we do put all the cameras up publicly. The normal mode of them is sitting there sweeping across those areas, but when there's an event, we can stop them and zoom in. So just wanted
So
to,
if you type in his address, you can see, I just typed different numbers. He's got 5 up there, but if you type in 1, you'll see all of the cameras. You can pick them.
I don't know what you're looking
Group
at.
dash one is
Yeah,
what
oh
she's
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the links will, you can navigate to all the cameras there. So, yeah, do
Pretty
/1.
cool.
We need to make the website better, maybe some pictures of the areas and stuff, but it's, you know, it's experimental, but
It
pretty
does look a little
cool.
shady, right? What am I clicking here?
All right, next slide, that might be the last one. Oh, I just want to make a mention of the progress on the bonds, the original bonds. So all UIA bonds, which are actually what paid for the city network to be built, are being paid for from revenues, but the cities are all tied into the old original bonds, and they kind of got put into certain cities and whatever, but the cities are all collectively paying into that. The payment, we're basically reimbursing back to the city a portion of that, and every year we try to up that amount. In 2025, so this says proposed, but that was the amount approved, and the city was paid, what was it, $156,000, which was $10,000 more than the previous year. For this upcoming year, the 2026 budget, we've budgeted an additional $10,600 for that. So late in the year, it's still subject to the board approving that, but we would expect to do $167,000.
Generally, it's a 3.4% increase every year, right? 3% increase.
2%.
2%, sorry, 2%.
I wouldn't say long-term, the midterm goal is to increase it by much more than 2%. This 2026, though, we have bond payments for UIA projects and all other things increasing by 4 million. So we're keeping up with a $4 million expense increase and increasing this. The next year after that, we don't have the same sort of debt payment increase. And so the hope is that in 2027, we'll be able to do more than 2%. By how much, it'll be a discussion with our boards to figure out what makes sense. So we're hoping that goes from 2 to something significantly more, with the goal to eventually be to cover 100%. The structure of this is not that it's meant to ever cost the city anything. If you actually go back to the original agreements, it's a loan agreement on the Utopia. So the cities are effectively loaning Utopia the money to make the payments on the bonds. And then when the bonds are paid off, we'll pay you back. And so, but maybe even before then. So we're decreasing the amount of the payments, and then the bonds end in 2040, if I remember right. It's a 33-year finance in 2008, so whatever that.
2040, 2041.
2041, something like that. So that'll be a really nice day, because suddenly we won't have any Utopia bond payments. And the intent isn't, hey, we're just going to drop the price of services dramatically. I mean, we can have a discussion with our board of like, hey, what makes sense? Is there some of both? Or do we just maintain price and then use the revenue that we were making bond payments with to pay the cities back, and to what schedule and what amounts? That's going to be a really good problem to have, figuring that out in 2040 or 2041, but that's about the timing. And we're hoping to actually get to making 100% of the payments before that time. But the structure of this actually has you loaning us the money, and then when we pay you back, we're paying you back with interest. So there's a very big potential of revenue coming back to the city. I think you're budgeting for it just as a write-off. Most of the cities are, or just an expense, I guess. I shouldn't call it write-off.
Can I just share? So Roger and I have talked about this. What I do appreciate about Roger's perspective is there's this intent of trying to pay off the bond, but there's also this need to keep the system viable, right? It's a changing system that we're competing against quantum or the updating of technology. So I do appreciate the conversation where Roger's like, we do have to invest back in the system so we continue to be competitive and we don't fall behind. And I really appreciate that you're being mindful of those two things, being mindful of what our needs are as a city, but also being mindful of Utopia's future. So I've appreciated that perspective. So I just want to share that with council.
Yeah, there's a lot of juggling, right? Like, we could pay more of the debt if we just raised rates by $20, but we might lose a lot of customers, and then we wouldn't be competitive. And so we're like, okay, we can't do that. Well, let's just get a higher take rate by dramatically lowering the price. Well, now we don't have enough money to keep up with this, right? So we're always constantly trying to balance what's the right price structure to be competitive. How do we borrow money still to fund growth and expansion of the system and additional installations? We still do. We don't cash fund that. We issue bonds, we borrow money to pay for additional customers to be connected to the system. But the return on investment for those are fantastic. We do that times 1,000 if we could, right? So we do issue new bonds, but we offset some of that from cash that comes off the system, but also trying to preserve this amount that we're paying back to the cities and even increase it every year. So there's a lot of things that we juggle to balance all those priorities, and we have an excellent board that we work with to say, okay, this is what we feel like is a good balancing, and we have adjusted that sometimes with their feedback. So, but that's what we do. We our interests are to do what's in the best interest of the cities, and our board has been excellent at holding our feet to the fire and helping us with all that. But it's working really well. I kind of like, if things keep going like they are right now, those things I said about being able to pay more and more of the debt every year to the point we're paying all of it, and then eventually to the point where we're paying it all back with interest, is in my opinion, is a very likely outcome. So, anyways, we're keeping with it. I think that's probably it. Yep, that's the last slide. So if you have any additional questions or feedback, or appreciate it, throw any tomatoes at me, but you can do that online if you want. Send them over email. But we appreciate the city's support. You've been great. This hasn't always been an easy project. It's been a strain, and we recognize that on the city. But things have turned up quite a bit, and it was really rough when you didn't have the service and you were paying for it.
But I think at this point, we can point to now a lot of the city has it, and the benefits far outweigh the cost, and the future financial outlook is very strong. So, anyways, any comments or questions or feedback? And Nicole is awesome. I'm going to make her do the next one because she's better. She's awesome. So.
You were great.
So what I'm impressed about is you go to these conferences or the league or whatever, and you'll always see Roger and Nicole there working the booth as well too. So they get down and get involved and get in the trenches and just don't sit behind their desks. So they've been greatly involved. And I served on the board the first year or two, and then before we rotated, Councilwoman Meekman and Brannon to the UTOPIA and UI boards. But so thank you for the presentation. Any other questions for them? So thanks, Roger. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's go to the business items. Waterworth Terms of Service Agreement. Now, this is something that we had in our work session, and so I don't know that we wanted how much more discussion we need on it. But what we're basically doing here was we're looking at if we want to approve the Terms of Service Agreement and authorize staff to move forward with the 3-year subscription plan and implementation. One thing that, before I ask a question, was there anything that Nate, you or Mike or Brent want to say further? I did have this question, and Nate, you can come up and help me answer this, maybe you and Brent. I too, like many of you, was impressed with this particular product, but I do get a little concerned that over the last 2 or 3 years, we've subscribed our various departments to a lot of these type of computer programs, okay? And so, to me, this is one that looks like we'll really use it and it'll be useful. Some of them I didn't understand probably as well as I should have, but I didn't see that they would be as useful. So I just want to ask you, of all these that we've been subscribing to, the half a dozen over the last 2 or 3 years, and some maybe you don't work with, it's other departments, so Brent, this is why I'm asking you, are we using those programs? Because we could talk about doing a master plan and sticking it on a shelf, or some, having somebody do a compensation study, sticking it on the shelf. But are we loading these programs on our computer and not using them, or are we using them? Is this one that we would use?
I believe we'll use this a lot. Again, the key component of this, which piqued our interest in the beginning, was the rate design, which is what we had originally budgeted for. And then when I saw the financial modeling component of it, and the continuous support that we get over that term, that's what really sold me on it. So I believe we will use this one. Like Grant said, once we get it all set up, we'll use it a lot this first year, and then it's something that we'll use, a few times a year after that, as we look at where our rate is and different projects that come up. As for the other softwares, I don't think I've asked for one. I know Bamboo HR was a big one that we all use almost every day.
I will share that I think all of our software programs are pretty well used. There is one I will share as win for Lisa and Jennifer, is that we signed up for Cobblestone, which dealt with contract management. But Jennifer actually determined, no, I can make a spreadsheet out of this. And she has made a spreadsheet by getting into Cobblestone to see what, I guess, were the options. But Jennifer then decided, no, I can do this on spreadsheet, and we eliminated that contract. So whenever there's an opportunity, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, we do analyze the use and make sure. And so, yes, I just want to give some accolades to Jennifer because she did an amazing job. We were just struggling with this, and they were, trying to train us. And we said, well, we'd just like some emails when this is going to expire, and they couldn't even implement that. And Jennifer found a way to do it. So we are constantly analyzing those, and we're not going to let them sit on the shelf. And Jennifer implemented this soon enough that we had a provision where we could get back the pro rata share of our subscription. And so we did, and we turned it off as soon as we could. So thanks to Jennifer.
Good, thank you.
And Mayor, real quick, along those same lines, on the proposal that's in your packet, if you look on page 4, there's a note there at the bottom that it says that we can cancel this subscription at any time. So we're not entering into a contract. We do get a discount for going 3 or 5 years. But we can cancel the subscription at any time. And then it says that upon termination, Meeting will reimburse the subscriber pro rata for the remaining unused years of the subscription, calculated at 75% of the remaining balance of the subscription fee for the unused years. So if we cancel before the 3 years, then, you know, we will take a little bit of a hit, but we will be able to recoup 75% of the unused funds.
Okay, the second question I had for you and for Mike is, I know when I came into being mayor, I kind of coming from the private sector, I was like, hey, you got to fund things yourself and make things work, and you don't get state money, you don't get federal money, and I've learned that you take advantage of that sort of stuff. Really early on I did. So my question is, in analyzing on this, it looked like a pretty good program, and it's going to analyze, hey, this is the money we need for this or that project, so we're going to be raising our rates all the time. I'm just hoping that it doesn't cause us not to use the other feature on it, that, oh, we know that this is how much we have to spend, but that we still use the other feature of, hey, let's chase this federal money and this state money and that sort of thing as well too, and don't get caught up saying, hey, coming to us, we just need rate increase, and forgetting that it still chase those other dollars as well too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, those grant opportunities help keep our rate as low as we can. So yeah, I don't foresee us stopping to chase those grants at all.
Yeah, and I like that they had that feature that you can, that Gage was showing us, plug that stuff in. But so those are my questions. What other questions or discussion do we have on it from council? Is it something that, if you don't have any other questions on it, that somebody wants to make a motion on approving this?
Yeah, I'm happy to make a motion that we approve the Waterworth Terms of Service Agreement and authorize staff to move forward with the 3-year subscription plan and implementation.
Second.
Motion is second, further discussion?
The only thing I'd like to say is if this is voted and approved, I'd love to see you guys maybe show us at some point when we have a little extra minute, just once you get the data
Yeah,
in.
once it's modeled up.
I'd really like
Yeah.
to see it.
I would too.
So-
And they will actually present their findings and their rate recommendations. and
Oh,
all that.
perfect.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So we get all the benefits of the traditional rate study. They'll present their findings and their recommendation. But then certainly if, you know, you have differing opinions, we can certainly enter that into the model and see what it
They
would do for us.
give an estimated timeline as to how long that'll take them to build that and model
Kinda
it. I guess it
contingent upon
depends on
us.
how much information, when and how we give them the information, because they can't
Right.
complete it until we give that to them.
Yeah.
Kevin is working on all capital facilities
Okay.
plan type stuff, so yeah, we're getting all that. We already started gathering that
I want to say 3 to 6 months is
Okay.
probably the
Yeah.
timeline.
before the next budget.
Yeah,
That'd be
definitely before
awesome
the
to
next
see it
budget.
before the
Right.
next budget cycle.
Any other questions, discussion? Let's vote. Councilman Meekum.
Aye.
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 Councilman Plummer, can you hear? Are you voting?
Saying aye, he typed it in.
Oh, okay. We saw it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks, Mike, for your work on it. Okay, let's go to the bid slurry. We have a slurry seal project, the Morgan pavement, in the amount of $163,178.50. Is there questions for, on this one that do you want to ask? Are you ready to approve it? Who would he ask questions? Who's got it? Mike?
I was happy to see that we had 5 bidders, or 4, I guess we had 4 bidders.
So, yeah, I'm really Kevin Campbell, filling in for him tonight. So, yeah, we had 4 bidders, 2 of them below engineer bid, 2 of them above. We've dealt with Morgan before. They do a pretty good job, so that's what we want to recommend, is to move forward with Morgan.
Is this is this Morgan Asphalt? It's the same
Division of
company?
it,
Have they
yeah.
changed their name or? They're a great asphalt company. So.
Okay, it sounds like that's pretty simple. No questions on it. Somebody want to make a motion?
Sorry, go ahead, Spencer.
I'll make a motion that we approve the bid award for Slurry Seal Project 2025 to Morgan Pavement Maintenance in the amount of $163,178.50.
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call vote. Councilman Summerhays, go to the right.
Aye.
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 And did he vote on that one?
Yeah, he said aye.
Good. All righty, thank you. Thanks, Mike. Let's go to the minutes. The minute review and approval for the August 19th work session, the August 19th closed session, and the August 19th city council minutes. Do you see in your review those minutes anything that you need to change or proposing to change? If not, motion to approve those minutes?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Just so happens that Councilman Plummer has reported tonight. I don't know if he's reporting or not, or if,
Quiet.
yeah, so, does anybody have anything that,
Types it in the chat.
of, consideration that with your committees that we need to know about? Okay. Then we will move to the mayor report. Now, I have for you tonight a bunch of scheduled events, okay? So the first thing is, this morning I went down behind AutoZone and Dick's and looked at the fabulous job that the Rotary has done in that corner down there. About probably 2 or 3 years ago, Chief Child said, Mary, will you come down here and look at this with me? And he showed me the old couch there and graffiti on the walls, and he says, we got to get this cleaned up. And Rotary took that under their wing, and Steve Thacker met me down there this morning to show it to me. There's a lot of input from the couple of the apartment complexes there, from Dick's. I know I'm going to miss somebody from Rotary, from Colonial, et cetera, and really cleaned it up nice. And so they're going to do a little ceremony on the 11th at 6 o'clock. And I think that Steve asked me if it was okay if he sent out an email to all the council. I said, of course. And I think he sent that out because I saw it earlier this afternoon. So it looks great compared to what it was, so a great job was done there. Then a reminder that Saturday the 13th is the day of service, the annual day of service. There'll be some projects that they're doing for our cities. Anybody want to fill me in what city projects we have? Bruce, do you know what city projects we have?
I'm not aware of the whole city, but a couple of parts of we project that are having department of science and Park Strip rock project of our park.
So the Mike didn't catch that, Park Strip project at one of our parks, and a weeding project up at Island View Park. So, and there'll be other things going on throughout the city as well too.
Can we get maybe I've missed it on social media, but could we, I know that you have to kind of, like, they kind of depend on signing up through, what's that website called? Just Serve, yeah. Can we get that onto social media from the city to increase awareness? and potential attendance?
We've allowed them to put banners on city property and things like that. We could, part of our agreement, we've permitted to put just serve as something on there, unless I'm mistaken. But yeah, just serve is permitted to be advertised on our socials. So,
Okay.
yeah.
We've always told people if they want to do a project, to go to the Just Serve website.
That's where you sign up for it, but I'm just thinking it probably would help to get the word out.
Yeah.
If there were some links or something that you could just quickly get to.
The state has one called UServe that links to Just Serve, so that's how we'll be advertising, that's what will go out.
That's perfect. Yeah, I don't care how it's advertised.
As we've
just-
shared, we're trying to link it back to the state and
Yeah,
just because the
that's
state's
great.
has a relationship.
I don't care how it's advertised. I just know that people need to hear it like 3 or 4 times to be like, oh yeah, that's going on. I should sign up.
Okay, let's go door to door. Who's gonna take what
Yeah.
section of the city?
Right?
Yeah.
On the 17th of September, I got this from the county, they're doing the grand opening for the Western Sports Park in Farmington from 5:30 to 7:30. And then I got from the Chamber of Commerce an invitation to Paul Davis Restoration is doing a ribbon cutting here within the city at 11 o'clock on September 18th. Some of these I've gone to in the past, and I felt bad because I didn't look in advance and let you guys know, so I told myself I'd do
Where are
better
they
What
moving
time?
into?
things.
What time on the Paul Davis?
11 o'clock on the 18th in Spencer, they're at the 106 South, 1250 West
Oh, okay. Okay.
is,
Give me that one more time, 106 South.
106 South,
1250 West.
1250 West.
And what is the Western Sports Park? Do you have the time on that one?
Western Sports Park is Wednesday night, the 17th, from 5:30 to 7:30.
Okay, thank you.
And then on 10/14, it was changed to meet the candidate night is on 10/14. So, I will be at most of these, the Western Sports Park. I think I have a CenterPoint board meeting that night, so we'll have to see what happens on those. But wanted to let you know about them. Obviously thrilled about the in-city ones for sure. You know, that was so much fun being down there with Steve today, looking at, how that had been cleaned up from what it was, so. And then the last thing, any question on any of those? Did I get them all out?
The event on the 14th, is that at 6 PM?
6:30 to 8:30,
Oh, 6:30, okay.
yeah.
I sent it out to you.
Thank you.
Sorry, couldn't hear you, you weren't at the podium. Okay.
So yesterday, on Labor Day, I had the opportunity, believe me, my days aren't like this every day, okay? But I got up at 6 o'clock and went to play ball at one of our local churches. And then from 7 to 9, I played tennis on some newly redone surfaced Smoot tennis courts, which was fabulous. And then from 7 to 10 in the evening, one played kickball and softball down underneath our park at our baseball field. We rented that and did that as my son and his friends and their parents, and saw the pickleball people over there playing as well too, and just realized how wonderful it was to have all these cities, all these facilities within our city to jump to and things to do. So take advantage of them, use them. I think that's everything I have. Any questions for me? Okay, Brant, City Manager Report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have a few items. In light of our conversation earlier, we're discussing water conservation. I just wanted to highlight, Mike Agate was invited to attend Prepare 60 Water School that I had the opportunity to attend last year, so Mike will be able to attend that next week. I've been asked to be on a panel. Apparently I made a splash, pun intended, last time I was there, so they've invited me to be part of a panel in what cities can do to participate. So we're in the process of having these conversations that we've had, but I think this would be really good for Mike to get that, also that kind of sense of urgency of what we need to be looking at and how we can participate and be better at conservation. The RAP arguments, Jennifer, what do I need to share about the RAP arguments?
No, I was just gonna say today at 5 PM was the deadline for any voters to submit a request to write an argument, and I did get a written request from 2 of our council member, or from the mayor and Councilmember Summerhays to write a request. And I know, Gina, you were kind of gonna help write those as well.
Yes.
And
I apologize that I just had a crazy day
Well-
and didn't get the
Well, so we
response.
could-
But I'm
you
happy
can
to
be-
help. You're still happy to help in drafting that argument, putting it together, but as
Yeah.
far as listing the authors, I probably can only list the 2.
No, that's fine.
And
But
we
I'm
can
happy
look
to help
closer
with
at that
it,
code
so.
as well. But I didn't receive any requests for an against argument, so there's not gonna be an against argument in our voter information pamphlet. But, those arguments will be due the 10th, which is next Wednesday.
Okay.
So, that's all.
One other item I thought was, so Utopia, we discussed our bond payments. Thanks, Jennifer. I just wanted to let you all know, one of the other topics that we'd like to discuss is our RDA payments. So we continue to receive RDA distribution, and we received a haircut, which just means we've extended out the Parish Lane Gateway RDA additional 7 years. So we still are collecting that haircut, so we're collecting revenue in there, and it's restricted funds. But the great thing about the Parish Lane Gateway RDA is telecommunications is actually permitted expenditure in that fund. And so RDA fund is currently what is paying for our bond payment, not our general fund. So it is restricted funds. So it's not as if we weren't paying that bond payment, we'd have this influx of cash in our general fund. It is restricted. So Nate, I would like to, and Mike would like to have a conversation with you on what we continue to do, because those funds could potentially pay out the remainder of the bond as we're collecting the funds, and we just appropriate it for that. But we'll talk about what our options could be in that future meeting. But I just want to let you know, it's what the city did in the 80s or the 90s with Parish Lane Gateway was smart. I think the way they set it up was brilliant. It's amazing, really put ourselves in a better financial situation. We have a nice commercial center that helps fund and subsidize our residents' standard of living, right? I mean, we get compensated, and our property taxes are relatively low for the county due to that subsidy we receive from outsiders spending money in our town, which is really beneficial. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure that was clear, that those funds, so we get questions about paying for this, it's coming from the RDA funds, which is restricted anyway. And so it's actually a really good use of our RDA funds. Other than that, do you have any questions for me? Great. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any other items that need to be brought up? There is no closed session tonight, so if there's nothing else to bring up, then I look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.